Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah, amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. This is the 7th day of Ramadan, the 7th juz, and the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. There's a lot to share with you in a very short time, so let's get to it. Building a bridge from the past for a better future, inshallah. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam is obviously among the 5, ulil azm, the 5 strongest, most one that persevered for the most among the prophets and messengers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in His honor something that it is enough for anyone to take honor on. And He said, Inni ja'iluka linnas imama. I am making you for the whole humanity to be imam. Not only that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He is an ummah by Himself. Amazingly enough, one man becomes an ummah. And we know that the word, obviously, ummah comes from the bedrock of it, inshallah. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam had something very special. And when the scholars actually say, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, give him that honor, that he's the father of prophets and messengers. He's an ummah on his own. Some of them say, لَأَنَّهُ ضَحَّى بِجَسَدِهِ لِلنِّيرَانِ. He sacrificed his body for the fire. And we'll come back to that, inshallah. وَابْنِهِ لِلْقُرْبَانِ, and his son for the sake of Allah. And وَطَعَامِهِ لِلضَّيْفَانِ, and his food for the guests, meaning the angels. And even his family, you can understand the story between him and the relationship between Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and his wife Hajar alayhi salam and his son Ismail alayhi salam. Now you'd understand for the first one we said ضيف and the hellfire, not the fire itself, meaning that when he was thrown in the fire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to teach us something which we're going to take away inshallah, which is the lesson with yaqeen. Yaqeen and putting your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Certainly everything happens in that for a reason. For example, the scholars will tell you, couldn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have put out the fire before Ibrahim alayhi salam was thrown in it? Indeed He could. Couldn't He made a rain come and actually put out the fire? Of course. Couldn't it be possible for him to have escaped? Of course. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made sure that he did not escape. The rain did not come through and put out the fire. He was actually put through, and believe it or not, the Jibreel alayhi salam came down to that day. And he came to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. He says, Alaka haja, do you have anything that you want at this time? Now you put yourself in that position, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. You're being in the fire and there's nobody there. The fire was so high, the birds when they flew actually died, and they had to throw them all the way from afar. They couldn't even come close to it. And somebody comes to you. What are you going to say? Yes, please, call 911. No, he didn't say that. He says, Amma laka fala. For you, I don't need you. I need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how do we do, akhi and ukhti? إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. If you ask Allah. If you seek assistance, seek the assistance of Allah. And that is things that we have to make sure that we know that if the whole ummah came together, if all nations came together to harm you with something that Allah did not ordain upon you, it will not harm you with any. Or that all nations come to bless you or benefit you with anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that ordained for you, they will not be able to help you or benefit you with anything. Now, he says, he used to say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Then we should actually say that all the time. Now, you can understand also that there's another dilemma that he had. You know, when he had Ismail alayhi salam, after a long time, after Sarah was given to him give him Hajar as a hadiyah, she couldn't have children. After a long time, he has Ismail. And now you understand, after a long time, you have a child. You can prostrate to Allah and you thank Him. You think of all the good things and you think about the future he's going to get or she's going to get, who's going to marry. I'm going to walk them down the aisle. I'm going to want to be there with them when they graduate. The first thing you do is you take them to that early desert place. There's no shopping mall. There's no Wi-Fi. There is no WW. There's no bling bling. There's no texting. There's nothing, man. And they just leave them, turn around, walk away. Do you believe it? Now the wife asked him one question. Allah amaraka bidhalik? Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordain you do that? One question. He said, Naam, yes. Or one narration says he turned around, walk away, he didn't say anything. He says, إِذَا لَا يُضَيِّعْنَا. This is the message for my dear sisters in Islam. How are you, ukhti? Do you actually assist shaitan against your own husband, or do you assist your husband against shaitan? You understand how this beautiful woman, strong in iman and faith, says, إِذَا لَا يُضَيِّعْنَا, Allah will never lead us astray. And then you can understand even his son, his own son. Actually, Dad, I haven't seen you for a long time. What do you have for me? A nice gift, maybe PS4? He says, son, I've seen in my dream that I'm actually going to sacrifice you. What did he say? He says, you old fool. Maybe you had too much fool and falafel, you feel awful, too much samosa, too much biryani. You've been watching nightmares, you don't disregard it. He says, Ya abati fa'al ma tu'mar. Oh my father, by the way, abati is different than walid and ab. Ab is the one that raises. Walid is the one that gives birth, actually is the biological father. But abati is the loving, giving, nurturing father. Subhanallah, ajib. And you know, it's amazing, the knife is supposed to cut, it didn't cut. The fire it's supposed to burn, it didn't burn. For us to learn that everything happens by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not anybody else. Too many lessons to learn, but the yaqeen is certainly there. Why? Because we submit and we take everything from Allah to be the best. Because it's a test. May Allah make us pass this test, so we can get together in Jannah with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, resurrected with Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ameen wa akhir da'wan. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallam ala alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'in. Jazakumullah anna khayra. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.